What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Revelations of a Ranting Sheep. I'm your girl, Lahoma, and I'm not in a very good mood right now. The day started out really great, and right now I am extremely livid. But we're not here for that. We are here for part two. And honestly, the way I've been feeling about these things, I'm just like, I might just speed things up. Like, I am not committed to doing 13 episodes. I think I'm good on doing just 12. So, this is going to be part two of last week, but also it's going to be um, the start and finish of the very last person that I wanted to talk about. So, back on my high school sweetheart, what I wanted to add to the story is that um, after years and years of this man keeping hope alive for us, um, and maybe to some level he lost it. I don't know. Um, I finally came to a place last year where I considered that, you know what if this is the person? Like, what if this is my person? There's a lot of prayers that went into it. I spoke to my community about it. And I really went and found him, and I communicated my intentions from the very start. Of course, after years of hearing no from me, he was a little skeptical, which that's to be expected. Um, and it was just really nice to talk with him, and to joke with him, and for things to kind of seem normal between us. Um, it wasn't, there was a lot of things that I was bending on, because he does have children, by two different women. And so there was a lot that I was just like throwing to the wind and saying, you know what? If this is really my person, everything is going to work out. And so I really went into it with a is huge open mind, huge open heart, because you know the chemistry of us, like, still being friends was there. Like, we were still laughing with each other. There was times where we were falling asleep on the, like last year, we were falling asleep on the phone. Like, it was still that bit of a bond. So I'm like, you know what? You know, it is what it is. The Lord is going to provide, and He's going to show the way. But all throughout that time, I believe we spoke for about 3 weeks until I finally decided that you are not it. Um, it was something that I think I had to go through, because he's always been kind of like the goal on some level. Um, he smokes and he does a lot of things that I am not into. Um, but I figured if I come to him with all my cards showing on the table so that he could pick it up and look at them, and look at the back and make sure that I'm not cheating or anything like that, that the response would be, okay, well, since this is what you want to do, and since I've been wanting to be with you because you have also been my standard, I am willing to change these things because that's what you have to do sometimes in relationships. You let go of things that you don't need, that do not serve you. And it was really interesting because he fought me so hard on these things. And I remember saying to him, like, you're acting like the things that I'm asking you to get rid of are things that are beneficial to you. I'm asking you to not smoke anymore. He's not a big drinker. Um, or maybe the standard drinker. Um, I'm asking you to stop doing illegal stuff and to grow up, like grow up. This is what I'm asking from you. I'm asking you to be a man and a responsible man. Um, and it was just so hard for for him to, I don't know, come around to what I wanted and or what I was asking from him. And trust me, I know that it seemed like, oh, well, it's not fair because you're asking for all of these things. Um, but I also presented it as, if there's anything that you want for me to change, I'll definitely, start working on those things if this is really a union. Now, I also in the beginning remember saying to him that, hey, I'm bringing this to the table. I'm not forcing you. I'm not saying, oh, you're going to be with me. Um, but I'm bringing it to you to see how your spirit feels. Because if your spirit is like, yeah, nah, this is not for me, then that means that I was wrong. It means that what I was feeling and what I was thinking was wrong, and that's okay. But I need to be able to tell you this so that you could give me feedback. And the feedback that he gave me was a positive one, except for when it came down to the things that I wanted. And then I started just feeling like he was stretching things on just so that he could squeeze the final juice out of whatever is there. Because he equally enjoyed our friendship, right? Like we genuinely just crack up with each other. He is a good friend, a good friend to laugh with and just relax and just, just be easy breezy, but not my partner. In fact, when he told me about his second baby mother, there was some things that was happening, and um, he shared enough with me to make me realize, like, oh, you actually have managed to find another decent woman, and it really sounds like you need to. I remember telling him, like, it seems like you need to make a decision on whether you're going to let those things be the past and be with me with all of the things that I'm asking from you, or you need to say, hey, Sin, this is not it. Like, I appreciate it. I've been waiting for this day, but honestly, I have somebody who works out for me. Like, she doesn't ask for all the things that you're asking from me. Um, she has done XYZ for me, which I know that some of the XYZs that I was like just really impressed. And I was like, nah, I'm not it. Like, it sounds like she's it, you know? And I encouraged him, like, I think this is who you need to be with. Um, and there came a point where he was like, you see, like this is what I need to hear. Like, this is why I talk about these things, because sometimes I just need somebody, sometimes he just needs like a soundboard. And in having this conversation, I still continued to make it so that he is making the decision and not me. Um, but as usual, I had to make the last call because I have to put myself first. I'm not going to be putting myself through headaches. And so eventually I realized, like, oh, yeah, nah, he's not really interested. Like he likes the idea of us, but this is not really it for him. Um, he's hoping to um, get as much as he possibly can out of me and not really commit to me. I felt that thing heavy. And in that realization, I decided to say the deuce. I put up the deuces, and that was the end of that. And that is the end of that from now and forever. Because he was still in the back of my mind. I was still in the back of his mind. So I don't know if this is the end for him, and I don't care. That's not my business. But for me, I know that I finally have like for real closure on that, because I know for real, like, you don't care. Like, you want to be with somebody who's going to accept all of you, and you should. You absolutely should. If you're not someone who is willing to improve on self, then you should absolutely find somebody who's going to um, settle in a good way, not settle in a disgusting, yucky way, but settle for what you have to offer because they don't mind. You know what I mean? And that's perfectly fine. And so um, that was the end of the official end of an era um, of my high school sweetheart, and this um, being that he has been such a huge entity in my life for so long, you would think that I would put him last, but um, I just couldn't put him last, especially after last year. That whole situation, like that situation is crazy. It's so crazy that I can't even believe that it's March 2023. I can't believe it's March 2023 because it feels like just yesterday I went through this with him. But nonetheless, um, I'm not sure if I think the biggest lesson that I learned from my high school sweetheart is to not waste time, which is kind of unfair. I think in general, to not waste time is a good lesson that I learned from him. However, if I had to do it all over again, I would, because I was a child. Like, wasting time as a child, I don't want to say that there's no such thing, because you're a child, you're supposed to be experiencing things and experimenting and whatnot. So it's like that's the time to waste time almost. Um, but he definitely was a good foundation to me deciding after breaking up with him the very last time as a teenager that I will never waste over a year with somebody that I do not sense in every single crevice of this avatar that I'm supposed to be with them. Um, if even like if I don't feel it, if things are not meshing, if we're not able to communicate with each other and all of that, then it's a no for me. And so that's why every relationship after him, none of them have ever hit over a year. And with that said, I'm going to go to my last person. Um, my last person was a situationship, um, which is why he survived over a year, because we were never in a relationship. I met him uh, online. I was on Plenty of Fish yet again. And he was heading to New York at the time. Um, he wasn't currently in New York. He was coming back to New York to live here, and we just so happened. Well, he's the one that wrote me, and he wasn't typically anything that I would ever go for. In fact, I remember looking at his picture and thinking, mm, "This ain't it." And then I looked at his height. Ooh, you shorter than me? I don't know. But I had just gotten out of my engagement. I was now um, in the beginning stages of my homelessness, and I just needed to take my mind off of life. And so I accepted the message. We wrote back and forth. It was cool. He wanted to meet me the minute he came into New York. And I'm like, well, I don't meet people who I don't see first. So just so you know, a good tip for anybody who is dating online who may have a little bit of anxiety or nervousness about meeting a complete stranger and not wanting to get catfish, I suggest that you create a Zoom, have a WhatsApp. If you don't want to give your number, do a Zoom, a Skype, whatever, any one of those platforms, and have a video chat first, because that's what I did with him. I was like, I need to talk to you on Skype. At the time, it was Skype. Um, before I move on, he was like, "What? Oh, I'm real, this and the third." And I was like, "Listen, if you want to meet me, you're gonna download that Skype, and you're gonna have a conversation with me. Period." And so he did, and I played a little prank on him where I put my friend in the video instead of me, who looked completely different. Um, so that was funny, but we ended up hitting it off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We ended up hitting it off. Cool dude, very different. There was things that he was like and things that he was just doing that really impressed me. Um, and I was just like, wow, this is so interesting. Like meeting this person after I get out of this relationship. And um, we stayed in a situationship for, let's see, I met him in 2014, and I officially said my goodbye. Let me see, this is 23. Mom passed away in 2020. I believe I officially said my goodbyes in 2021, the first half of 2021. Um, because you know, I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure if I want to learn to understand what it is. Um, and I know that I would say that a bad habit that I have is wanting people to treat me the same way that I treat them. Even though they say treat others as you would like to be treated. So I don't know if it's really bad, but it comes to be an issue sometimes because sometimes people are not going to exactly show love in the same way that you do. But I know that when my mom passed away, I think I've mentioned this before. The people that I was closest, and should I say closest? Yeah, I want to say closest. The people who had a real insight on me, my relationship with my mom, and so on and so forth. On everything, I have a card from I have a condolence card from one entity, and I have to say entity, and that's from the hospice that helped myself and my brothers um, take care of my mom while she stayed at my brother's place. That's it. That's it. One card. And if we lived in a perfect world where everybody kept cards, you will be able to be in a few homes and find condolences from me in the form of a card, um, for losing close people. Like if you lose your mother, your father, um, siblings, child, you're going to get something from me. It's not an easy place to be in. Um, Sometimes it feels uncomfortable. You don't know what to do, what to say. Um, However, if you cannot just be in silence while somebody is going through a really, really difficult period, the least you can do when it comes to your presence, if it cannot be right there, your presence can still be felt through a card and some flowers. That is my standard. I'm always going to send a card and some flowers. And the fact that this man, he didn't know, and I chose not to tell him what was going on because there was already something in my spirit was just like, I really do like him. I love this man. I really genuinely loved him. Um, I care for you, and you haven't really shown up in my life the way I will want somebody to show up in my life who says they care about me too. Um, and so I'm not going to tell you that my mom passed away. And so I remember keeping it to myself. Um, and in fact, I chose to wait until I saw him face to face to let him know. And 2021, he showed up uh, at my apartment, and he, typical conversation. How is everyone? How's your mom? And that's when I let him know that my mom passed away. And I shared this story, and once I was somewhat done, he looks at me and he says, "You are so hard headed." I think he's definitely called me hard headed. Um, and then he's why did you tell me? And then I was honest with him. I told him that, I was concerned that if I told him that he would not show up for me the way I would want him to show up for me, and in doing so, that I would then be forced to not talk to him anymore, which was something that I was not ready to do. And he heard that, and there wasn't really much of a reply to it. It was more so of a, ingesting of my words and accepting it. Um, Probably even wondering why I felt that way. Maybe even confusion as to, whatever. Um, but like that's how much I care for you. Like I care for you so much that I can't even share this thing with you because I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to not talk to you because you're gonna be a terrible friend. Um, and so, you know, I think he gave me a hug, and well, you would think that after that, I think I think it's normal. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's hard to understand everything in life, but I think losing a loved one is something that's not really hard to understand. Um, we all have somebody that we care about or something that we care about, whether it's a car, a dog, a human being. And so to not understand that somebody lost their parent, understand on the level of like, well, she just passed away in November. It is now January of 2021. That distance is not a great distance. Um, so it's gonna take some time. Even if you see this person laughing and things like that, this is a natural energy to have joy, to have grief, to have peace. Um, some may argue that peace is not so natural. It's something that we have to work at. But these are things that at least laughter, like something is funny. And if something is really, really funny, people are gonna laugh. Like it reminds me of Sex in the City. This first movie or the second movie, whichever one, where, you know, Carrie felt like she was stood up at the altar and they went to Mexico and she just didn't want to do anything, right? She didn't want to eat, she just wanted to sleep. And it took Charlotte pooping on herself for Carrie to finally bust a laugh. Like it was just that level of funny to where her spirit was like, oh man, yeah, this is funny. So like that's just because that happened doesn't mean that she's not sad anymore at the fact that she's not married to the person that she thought she was going to get married to a week ago or days ago. You know what I mean? Same thing here. And so, without giving too much detail, let me just get to the point. Um, the fact that I called him, well, I texted him and asked him to, if he could just stop by. And he asked me if everything was okay. And I said, yeah, because when people ask if everything is okay, I'm assuming that they're asking me, hey, is your house on fire? No, my house is not on fire. No, I'm not about to be homeless. No, I don't need money. Like, yes, I'm okay. You're going to always get a yes, I'm okay. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not none of that. So yes, I'm okay. He's like, okay. And I'm like, would you come over? And he's like, yeah. And he didn't come over. And well, at the time that he said he was going to come over, and I'm like just waiting around. And I'm just like, well, shortly he will text to say he's on his way, to say, hey, can we reschedule? To say, hey, I can't come no more. Hey, something more important came up. I'm so sorry. Whatever. But it is now, I believe I gave it time. I believe I gave it till the next day. And when I didn't receive a message explaining anything, I have already gone off on this person years before. Like we were constantly in and out of each other's life um, from 2014 to 2021. And so because I already went off on this person so terribly bad, I didn't feel the sense to go off. Um, I was disappointed. And in that disappointment, I chose to just say, hey, you know what? I think that you need to keep that same energy. Keep the same energy of um, not wanting to be around me, not wanting to talk to me, not wanting to be there. That same energy that you have in your spirit right now that made you not get in contact with me and communicate that you were not going to show up or you can't show up or if we need to reschedule, that same base rooted energy in you that allows you to do that. I need you. I didn't say all of that. I just told him to keep the same energy. I need you to just keep that same energy from now to infinity and beyond. Because I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I do not feel like just 3 months or whatever the case may be from the time my mom passed away to now that I'm talking to you, asking you to come and see me, I don't feel like I have to tell you to please just come see me because I just need human to human interaction. I just need somebody to talk to. I just need somebody to rest my head on. Like I just did not feel like I have to say all of that. Like my mom passed away. You know my relationship with her. Why do I have to say I'm having a moment and I would love for you to just be here to just keep me company? It was just, it was a sad time. It was a sad moment. And I wish him nothing but the best. I've said this already. Everybody that I've spoken of, I wish them nothing but the best, including the person that sexually assaulted me. I'm not here to wish anybody any evil whatsoever. I genuinely mean that. Um, I just hope that people learn to be a little bit more considerate and to stop saying to people that they are more than what they actually are to you. Like if somebody's just an acquaintance, say that they're an acquaintance. If somebody is an associate, say that they're just an associate. If somebody's just a coworker, say this is my coworker. Don't say this is my friend, this is my homie, this is, the road dog. This is, don't do all of that. Let people know where they stand in your life. Be honest and genuine about it and allow your actions to show them that, hey, just because you're an acquaintance does not mean that I won't care for you. I have acquaintances in my life that they would never know that um, they're an acquaintance, right? Because I'm still there for them. I talk to them. I even at times they pop into my mind and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Just checking up on you. Um, you came into my mind and I just wanted to say hi. I hope everything is okay. Simple, plain. But it's like I feel like that type of character is the amount of people who are able to do that, like it's so small. The pool is so small. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad because some people are naturally that way. And then you have other people who are just that way because they got hurt, and so now they just they don't do this no more, they don't do that no more. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I it just makes me really sad that the very thing that I didn't want to happen ended up happening anyway. It is really, really sad. Um, I definitely had some eggs in that basket. Not all my eggs, but I definitely had some eggs. I definitely hoped that this person was my person. And at one point, I strongly believed that he was my person. Um, but Lucifer definitely had a laugh on that one. So good for him. Um, yeah. And that's how I'm going to end this. Um, what I've learned from all of my relationships, whether they were a situationship, we just went on one date, whatever. Um, I've learned that one, it's very important to learn yourself, learn what you're into, what you're not into, learn your own temperament. Who are you as a person? When you're with these people, write down in your mind, write down on a piece of paper, in your phone, wherever. Write down the things that you like about that person and the things that you don't like about that person. Write down even the things that you feel like, this is something that I could put up with, or this is definitely something I cannot put up with. Write down these things. Um, and continue to grow yourself, okay? Because there's going to be things that you like at one point, and then things that you're like, I don't necessarily care for that anymore. Like that thing does not bother me anymore. Things are going to change. Um, and with all that being said, I've been able to, with every single person that I meet, get better and better. Like my people have always been better and better every single time. And all in all, with all the grief that has happened, that's amazing. I love that each one got better than the next. I feel blessed for that. Like, seriously, I feel so blessed that I've been able to experience the goodness of each person, it being sometimes different from another. And I'm grateful that I've been able to experience um, their bad, um, so that I could decide now at 33 years old that this is something that I definitely am not going to put up with. Or, yeah, this thing is an unfortunate thing, but it's not something that's like um, a complete no. It's definitely something that, so long as I have someone who can communicate appropriately and properly and adequately and all the propers, then we can make this work. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that, you know, I could say. Like, learning myself was key in getting to a point of having peace with who I'm with who I am, being more comfortable with myself and in my body, understanding what I bring to the table, um, and what I can work on. Like if there's something that you want me to bring to the table that I don't currently have active, then okay, maybe I can work on that because I have other things that are similar to that. And so I'll be able to add that to my bag, or things that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm not that. I ain't it. And that's okay. Um, so yeah. I am skipping over so much. You guys have no idea. And maybe if I've just been having such there's a lot that's been going on behind the scenes. Um some bad, some more good. But yeah, I just want to bring this to an end. I do. I want to bring it to an end. So that's what I'm gonna do. Bring it to an end. Um I was supposed to have a panel discussion, but I just don't have a proper topic for a panel. So we'll see what happens next week. I might end it with a video next week, or I might come next week and just do a rant. I don't know. I'm in the season of slowing down, breathing, going with the flow even more so than ever, and accepting what's happening, accepting it, being okay with it, and not completely freaking out. Which today I had a relapse. But thank you so much for this, because speaking into this camera has actually helped me calm down. So thank you so much for tuning in. Um, I will catch you next week. We'll see what comes out of me, if anything at all. So I think that's also part of this journey, this season that I'm in, at least this year. It's like, hey, if you don't have anything to say, that's okay. You don't have to say anything that's not on your heart. You know what I mean? Be intentional about the things that you definitely want to do, and about the things that you definitely don't want to do. And so if I don't have anything in my heart to say, then I will just end it off. So have a beautiful week, you beautiful people. And don't let nobody rush your yes or your no. That's real. All right. I'll see you later. Peace.